Hello there, and welcome to Corey Loses for a brand new preview playthrough in Revan's Revenge 0.4 as the Galactic Republic. We've done a playthrough as the Mandalorians and the Sith already, haven't done one as the Republic, so we're going to take a look at some of what's coming in the 0.4 release of Revan's Revenge, which should be the next release of any EAWX mod. But keep in mind while you're watching that, while this is the next planned release, it is still very much a work in progress, setting up some of the basic stuff related to maps, galactic narrative, all that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of unit work done, but there's still a good amount to do. And you might see some of that come together over the playthrough, depending on how much I can safely bring in as we progress. But we are going to start off by separating out some of our command staff. So we have quite a few heroes we can displace here. So I'm going to send you down there. A couple of them are going to be missing some icons, like Noma Somos is there. But let's get you up north, and you're going to go, I suppose, to just Kuat. But yeah, so for the Galactic Republic, one of the government mechanics is the command staff that you might recognize from if you've played Thrawn's Revenge and Fall of the Republic, the other Republic, so the Republic in Fall of the Republic, and the New Republic in Thrawn's Revenge. So we have some active Jedi and some active fleet officers. It's a bit more basic than the other ones right now because there's a smaller pool of heroes. And then as different characters get added in different eras, things will split up a little bit more. But I think our focus is going to be on Almanoth first. So we'll probably pull together a few of these units from Karita, Kuat. Once our hero gets into Kuat, I'll move him up to Karita as well. Come up through here, because we just want to do a bit of consolidation. I think what we're gonna do is take Almanoth, then we'll also want to take Ondron and Duxin, and we have Basilisk in the middle of our territory, which right now is a level 1 shipyard. In Revan's Revenge, that is going to become a level 3 or 4 shipyard, I believe. But right now, like the way we have planets coded, we share a pool throughout all of the mods, and one of the things we need to change with how we generate those is have different overrides we can have per mod. So that's just a thing that's still to be done. The Sith Empire is taking Telos, but map-wise, you can see it's 3976 BBY. So this is technically one of the progressive maps, where we're starting in the Mandalorian Wars, but this is a version of the progressive maps that emphasizes having slightly more balanced territory. Not fully, but it does start with more Sith territory than you'd normally see, especially at this phase in the Mandalorian Wars, where they're just like off on their own, because we wanted to have some opportunities for like full three-way fights between the factions, rather than just having it be like Republic versus Mandalorians for the Mandalorian Wars war eras, and then later on just Republic versus Sith. So that's going to be kind of the two different types of progressive maps, where in Thrawn's Revenge and in Thrawn's Revenge you have known and full galaxy, so with and without the unknown regions. In Fall of the Republic you have with and without the huts. In Revan's Revenge it's going to be balanced territory versus canon territory as the two options. So each should provide something a bit different. But yeah.
Coordinates confirmed.
So let's get some of these guys in.
On it, sir.
And I think we've got a lot of our stuff handled there. I don't know if the Sith are actually going to hold on very long, but I could probably benefit from... I guess I'll just put together Admiral Forn Dodonna with Saul Kareth for this first battle, actually. Yeah. No, that actually works out to less than Toledo had. Is that your name? Yeah, Toledo. Yeah, so we're going to go into Almanoth this way.
Proceeding. And
one of the things that has changed since the Sith playthrough, which was the last one we did, is that the stations have started to get some work. So
Marauder cruiser here.
Right now, the plan. Oh, and we have one of the things I do for these playthroughs is to have people who are patrons, channel members, and Twitch subs. They're able to name ships for the playthrough. So we have Going in Blind here, and you'll see all the ship names coming in at the top left as they come in. And we have Axehead Body Spray, Iron Hand of Coruscant, Black Eagles, Ashurbanipal,
Coordinates confirmed.
Baby Yularen, Iron Hammer, and Toledo can come in.
Orders received.
Voracious, Little Guy, and I think that's just a regular axe head.
What are your orders?
Alright, but yeah, so as I was saying with the stations, the goal, this is a work in progress texture on a station type called the Ronica Station, based on some comic blobs,
Your request.
some comic background stations. So we're working on one set
Starting my run.
of
Squadron reporting.
5 station levels, so we'll have a different station level for, or a new station type for each level, but it's all going to be shared between the factions right now. So we're getting like one level 1, one level 2, one level 3, etc. And then over future releases, we'll be differentiating that between the factions more. Because we just wanted to have a core set that is era appropriate rather than having to use like goal-in placeholders. During this playthrough, you will see there is a goal-in placeholder. The goal-in 1, I believe, is still the level 2 station,
Weapons charged.
but that'll be gone very soon. Maybe even during this playthrough, I might be able to pull that in, the replacement,
Orders.
depending on how fast stuff gets done and how safe things are. But we have the Mandalorian tactical government mechanics, Bloodlust, where the Mandalorians are able to, or where the Mandalorians randomly target a ship, and then if it goes down, they get a buff. If it doesn't, they get a debuff. That's something that I actually coded for a standalone video and showed the whole process of doing that.
Ready. Right away.
But I think we're pretty safe here, so I might have been a little bit too cautious.
Reporting in.
You may also notice the
Standing by.
speed of our ships is somewhat higher, particularly acceleration is actually higher, and then speed's a little bit higher, which is a part of some changes that are coming to
Reporting.
all of the mods, which should make it a little bit more
On my way.
reasonable for people to adjust tactically rather than just relying on positioning as much, initial positioning. And there are some other changes that are going to be going along with that in the future, but this is the first step in that direction.
System conquered.
Alright, so we got the Ronica station killed there, no matter what it says. And what's our pop looking like over here? I might need to pull in a little bit more, and we have a lot of money. I haven't spent anything. So let's start off by building a Swiftsure, one of our capital ships, and an Arcania. Let's get 2 forays on Karita. Do I have the shipyard? Let's get a hammerhead. We'll get 2 hammerheads and an axe head. No, 2 hammerheads, and we'll get an axe head somewhere else. There we go. So our rosters aren't quite that big yet. The focus was on getting at least 5 spaceships per faction and around 10 ground units, plus fighters. So we have on the lower side, we have our Coruscant Heavy Courier, our 4A Blockade Runner, and then at the like medium frigates, we have the Hammerhead Cruiser as kind of our mainline unit, and the Axehead is a carrier with some heavy long-range turbo lasers. Capital level, we have the Stalwart, then we have the Swiftsure, which is about 900 meters long. It's a kind of at the level of ISDs for the period, and then we have a kind of SSD, the Inexpugnable, which is a bigger version of the Swiftsure. But let's pull these guys over here. I'm actually going to combine all of them for the moment, and I'm going to put you over there. Because this fleet we're going to move in towards Ormentel. And while I'm not going to keep Cruel on, I think we will turn Cruel AI on for at least a couple weeks.
Research complete.
So we'll just activate that, and then
Moving out.
maybe along week 10 I'll turn it down. But let's pull up our Jedi, and again there will be some that are a bit anachronistic right now, like Juhani is a bit too young to be around at the moment. But we only have
Awaiting orders.
so many assets done and so much organization done on the Era side, so that'll start to be cleaned up over the next couple weeks especially. So let's bring Revan's ground forces
Mission
over.
log
Oh,
updated.
over there. Technically, that is a bordering territory because we have Tula. But I don't know that we're actually going to be able to
Vehicle in production.
take Tula or Florn. So we might just give up that mission. And right now, there's not any like government mechanics for the missions to tie into, so it doesn't matter as much if I'm not active in taking them. So I think what we are going to want to do is, well, let's move into Rusan right now.
Transmission.
We want to combine these guys.
Reporting.
Proceeding.
And Contrum is going to need a hypervelocity gun.
Started.
Charos is going to need a hypervelocity
Building under
gun.
construction.
We're going to take Rusan right now.
Assault Brigadier.
So just land on in there.
System conquered.
All right.
Beginning construction.
And so for this playthrough, we are actually going to be doing it live every Tuesday and Friday. So if you want to see the episodes as they're recorded, I'll be recording them live on Twitch Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern throughout the life of the campaign. And we're going back to the 2 days a week on Twitch doing the Empire War recordings. Alright, so Anti-Chonk is in the battle.
Reinforcements.
Alright, let's bring in Admiral Dodonna, Salkareth, and Seed. There's our first use of the Stalwart.
On what mission did the
I
Jedi
think
Council
we
send
need
you?
to... Yeah, let's focus down the goal. And we have HMCS Ontario,
On it, sir.
Hammers of
On the
Freedom,
move.
Frivolous,
Moving
and Ramming Speed. Then I think we also are going to want some
Heading out.
point defense from Bender's Revenge, Rain or Shine,
Moving out.
and Curry Up Now.
This is not the time for
Awaiting
jokes.
orders.
Alright,
Weapons
you all need to go for the station.
To be broken.
Heading out.
And expedited shipping beyond the colonies. No deliveries into Sith Hut or Mandalorian spaces into the battle.
Moving ahead.
Attentive.
Moving into position.
Alright, I need to, I think,
Proceeding.
go a bit harder on their actual units, because Dodonna is taking damage that I don't want Dodonna to take. Let's bring in our axe head as well. Caligula, this will be the judicial ship,
Let's move
and then
out.
some of the Coruscant
Tell me your
couriers.
mission.
What's your
Okay,
aim
I
plan?
need you to get out of there.
Answer the questions.
I copy.
Ask them.
Dreadnought cruiser ready.
Ready, sir.
It's been
As you can see already, we can be a little bit more reactive with our
the innocent.
I'm taking fire.
with our movements. Sorry. Okay. It was a little bit too close for Dodonna, but I'll have to split these guys up a little bit more again. And we're sending Revan in, so we just need a bit more to support that ground force, which we will split up a little bit more. Though it is just Revan right now, so we don't actually need to split that one up. Do we have any other regular infantry around here? We have you, so I'll put them in.
Prompt active.
And we'll move you over there, Dorak. Actually, let's send Malik down so you guys can hang out together.
I had to see for myself if it was true.
And here's our Swiftsure. So that I think I'm going to send up to this one, because Ord Mantell is going to be a bit harder to take. And we'll send Juhani and Jolie up there. And you guys, the other Jedi, can go over this way. All right.
Construction complete.
So in the future, there will be like different icons and models and stuff for Revan and Malik as we have a bit more resources to spread into like different variants of the same characters. So they'll progress a bit differently over the course of the mod, like with who they align with. Obviously, they're going to be with the Sith at some points, with the Republic at others. Generally not with the Mandalorians. But
Choose your
so let's send in this, and Revan, you're going to go over here. Because character art is one of the rarer skills, and for an era where it's quite a bit more character focused, that means there's a lot of assets we have to make. So the priority is not going to be on multiple character assets for the same character for a while. Though a lot of that can change depending on who wants to make what, because it's not just like a pure priority list. It's a hobby. So if people get the urge to make a bunch of Revan assets in the much smaller pool of character artists, then that can sometimes happen. But
We've secured a
that's not
landing
generally how priority is assigned to those things, at least.
Ready for
All
recon.
right, let's get over to the landing zone we're at right now. And Revan, get there.
zone contested.
With the infantry, we should be safe, because Revan and Malak can handle those. We have definitely not a rip-off of ATTEs, but another comic / Tor-inspired... yeah, Tor. I think it's the... So in the Old Republic, there's a much squarer-looking walker, and then there's the concept for this, which we turned into its own. I think that's where that came from. But one of the most common questions is about whether like specific Tor assets will be in the mod. The Old Republic is set several hundred years after Knights of the Old Republic, so it's much later. There's a non-zero chance that eventually we could get to a point where we're doing Tor as its own set of eras, but it is not a thing that we are going to be doing by default. So we're not going to be mixing in KOTOR stuff with Tor stuff unless it's something that's been established to be used for that long, which does happen sometimes. Like, you're not going to see the Sith using harrowers all the time, for example. They are from a different time period. Okay, Malak, you're going to hang around here. Where's Revan? Revan, can you get over there? We don't need all of you together.
Target acquired.
Need to get that over. So one of the other things you'll see here if I bring down some infantry is that you only see one unit because we have changed how we do the spawning for those. In prior releases, we had like one real company which spawns the rest of the units after I found out that Empire at War will track every unit on the galactic level. And then the plan over time was to change that into something more like this, where there's one unit that spawns everything else. Other mods like AOTR also had similar solutions, so this makes the lag on the galactic level better because it's not dealing with anywhere near as many objects. Right now, we only do that with infantry. We're probably going to start doing it with bigger vehicle companies as well, but even just infantry really reduces the amount of assets that are on the map that you have to deal with. There's some of our bombers coming in for a nice bombing run. And, okay. We got it. So, Malak, you can go up and do that landing zone on your own. I think our artillery can still hit that way. But let's do that. And Revan, you're going to loop around to the... Yeah, Revan's going to loop around to the north. No, where are you going? Come on. Let Revan get you. He's very enthusiastic. A lot of overhead strikes.
Planetary control achieved.
Okay, so we got ourselves
Under
Duxon.
construction.
Building started.
And Onderon is the next target. Especially if we can move some of these in. But I do kind of want to get one of our Swiftshires in. Which one entered service here? This was Spirit of Arcadia. Let's see.
Constructing unit.
Build another stalwart, because we got a lot of stalwarts to get through. Okay, I'm going to pull you into this fleet, and I'm going to try to get everyone else around there.
On the move.
Which, after we take Onderon, I'm going to split that fleet up again. So, it's a little bit easier for us right now to take some of these straggler planets, but it won't remain that way. I need to get in position before Cruel has to be turned off. So let's just get
Recruiting
a lot of
troops.
infantry,
Recruiting soldiers.
because that seems to be something that we're lacking from our initial setup. And I think you, Arcania, are also going to get
Beginning
some heavy
construction.
factories.
Building
Or
capital.
let's get let's get our economy going, because I don't think we have as much on the tax agency side.
Constructing.
Yeah. Alright. So let's invade Honoron.
Perhaps that is why this one.
And alright. The Mandalorians have right now some heroes and some larger ships that I really don't want to come across yet. Some Kiramids and Kandosis, which if we have them attack one of our less defended areas, we'll be able to take out the structures pretty easily.
Reinforcements.
Okay. This is Guardian that we just brought in. It's Ontario, ramming speed.
On it, sir.
Yoda's chariot.
On the move.
Alright.
Listen, you expect me to fall for such a transparent ploy? I tire of these games.
Fall out.
Okay, Tantives in Stanislav.
Reinforcements.
Proceeding.
And finally Frivolous.
Tell me what I want to know. This is the price of your resistance.
Alright.
Oh, this can't be true.
Once we get to these established borders, yeah, they had some ground units here that didn't want to get caught up in my space attack. But once we have some more established borders, we'll build some hypervelocity guns around them. And hopefully, once they start wanting to attack us, we'll be able to push that off. Because, like, probably getting into Obra Sky is worthwhile. Yeah, like, if we could take Obra Sky, that closes off Vina and Onderon as potential attack vectors. But let's try to just move in here as quickly as we can.
Reporting.
The Sith have taken Yavin. So my hope is that, like, by the time we're through the Mandalorian territory, the Sith are going to be in charge. But that could... It could just as easily go the other way, and I'm assuming it will go the other way. Do we have enough over here that I can build...
Let's move out.
an army? We can probably attack Ord Mantell pretty safely. But let's go into Onderon. Let's send in Malik first this time. We'll keep these two together. Got to keep an eye on them. Like some of the earlier events that we're going to be working on will involve Revan and how he goes between the different factions. And for the longer term, there's also some choices the player may be able to make about who they want to help when Revan changes sides. But that is a bit more involved and isn't necessarily something that we'll be able to have working in the first releases. If you've been around for some of the older releases, the path for Revan's Revenge is going to be probably fairly similar to what happened with Fall of the Republic, where the priority is on getting the core of the faction set up. Then there will be a lot of expansion on like narrative and government mechanics and adding in whatever content over a few releases that exists from various era appropriate sources. So things like comics, things like mentions in Knights of the Old Republic, primarily comics, because that's a lot of what this era is built on.
Very well.
But we'll be expanding those, and then we'll have down the line there'll be work on things like the Hutts being a playable faction. So the goal is to get like the core of a working mod. But let's send Revan or Malik up there alone. Revan, you can come here. You guys take a pause there. And let's bring in infantry of every variety. I think I'm going to get a field base here.
Swamp speeder ready.
Do we have a smaller... Okay, that is one of the smaller landing zones. So there have been some changes to... who do I have selected? Okay, you guys go up there. There have been some changes to things like field bases in the time since the last releases of the mod a couple weeks ago, where on top of these regular field base types, on the 1, 2, and 3 landing zones, there's a different type of build pad for field emplacements. And field emplacements are some other more utility-focused build pad options. So we'll take a look at those once we have that secured. But I'm going to send all of our bikes out this way. And you guys are just going to make sure that nothing explodes. This is where artillery is going to be camping.
Destroyed.
Ooh, that's not good.
Ready, sir. Pushing forward.
Well, you guys can hang out in here.
Form up.
And I think these bikes are going to have to go and defend over this way.
Right away.
The will of a Sith Lord.
Alright, so this... I think we're going to get a sensor field emplacement.
Destroyed.
But you can get a big AoE heal of both repair and Bacta, so they're kind of more inspired by like higher level versions of what you get from a regular build pad. So you have like a regular turbo tower. You know what, Malik, can I get you to go south there?
Destroyed.
Because this is a lot of stuff that's just getting annihilated here. Then the sensors, which are more like they're basically the sensors you'd capture. I think we need to turn around this way.
Copy.
And the
I copy.
the repairing one is basically a combination of a Bacta tank
Roger that.
and a repair pad, whatever you want to call it.
Destroyed.
I always call it different stuff.
Destroyed.
Okay, let's get our bikes back a little bit. Oh, we can destroy the skiff or whatever that is.
Unit destroyed.
You are not fit to.
A lot of stuff just getting blown up there.
I always knew that one day.
So let's get an AT, or not a War Walker, not an AT anything. Legally distinct. Because we can sensor ping off that
Bombers
into there.
incoming.
Need to fix the reveal range on that. But this is basically just the first implementation of that, so there are some other options for some things that'll be put on there. One of the things that we're going to be trying is an umbrella shield. So it won't be able to, like, it won't be a full base shield, but it'd be enough to stop like artillery
Advance. There they are.
or bombing runs. Mostly bombing runs. Depends on the artillery type. But yeah. So that's just another thing that'll be used. It can basically...
I copy. Advance.
I felt like the premise of the field bases was successful, but especially on maps that had a lot of landing zones, sometimes the amount of infantry that would be running around from that was too high.
Available.
And so I wanted to
Destroyed.
find a way that could add a bit more utility without having quite the same impact on the overall map and have a bit more variety in what you could get out of those things.
Bombardment incoming.
I could have also just captured this one.
Yes, Commander.
Well, no, that's not a pingable one. So they're a bit more expensive, but their impact can be worth it. All right,
Unit
there's
destroyed.
a lot going on here. There's a Baragwan that's down. You guys have no infantry to look out for. Is Malik here? Yeah, that's Malik. He's very edgy. So let's get rid of the heavy Warforge, and then
Tested.
they'll probably decide to leave. Though they are gaining
Under attack.
a bit more ground on the map, so
Swamp speeder reporting.
Unit destroyed.
let's try not to... Ooh, that artillery is gonna die. Oh, nope, we get to keep it. We get to keep it. All right. We lost some arrow chasers, but we killed
System
killed the
control.
brawl, took over the planet. That is going to do it, I think, for our first episode in this series. Like I said, if you want to watch these as they get recorded live, all the other recordings will be done on Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern. That'll be shown on the stream schedule that I post on the community page as well. But thank you for watching. Hope you're looking forward to the rest of the playthrough and to Revan's Revenge as it shapes up over the next couple months. Hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.